Mauricio Pochettino. I've made my feelings on Mauricio Pochettino perfectly clear, but there is only one person to actually have this conversation with. It is the one and only Olivia Buzaglo. Olivia, thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me. I just, by the way, want to start by saying I'm here because I'm friends with Rory and I like to talk football. I do not agree with 99% of what comes out of his mouth. And
So all my friends say.
Before everyone jumps down my throat at why I'm doing this, Rory, I'm here to debate my point of view and what I think.
Yep.
And that doesn't mean, just because I'm sat next to him, it doesn't mean I agree with anything he's ever said.
I've made it clear my feelings with regards to Mauricio Pochettino. To be totally frank, I never thought he should have been given the job, and I don't think he's done particularly well in the job, and I wouldn't be adverse to seeing him sacked. You disagree with that theory, don't you?
Yeah, massively.
And I thought it would be nice to hear your opinion and why you think it's wrong.
I mean, I feel like the first thing we need to get out there is that Chelsea are not the club we used to be. As much as we still want to be that club, and as much as we've still got all of the best memories from that time under Roman especially, which is more my... No, you're a little bit older than me, Rory, so you go back a little bit further, But that, for me, is what I remember growing up. Like, I was, 10 years old when Roman took over. So they're all my memories, and I love that time. I've seen us win everything there is to win, but we're not that club anymore.
But you see your acceptance of that. Is that not sort of like acquiescing to the fact that we're no longer a winning machine, a team that deserve the best, a team that strive for the best, a team that demand the best in every position from the top down? No, why are we not that anymore?
I still want to be that, don't get me wrong, but my point is, we had an owner that would just, all he was for was just success, and we loved that, right? But nowadays, sacking a manager every 18 months isn't going to work. And also, we're running out of managers, or we were running out of managers. You can't just keep going on a cycle because we're not that club anymore. Like, Tuchel obviously was the last of that, and he came in and won a Champions League within 3 months, but people say they want stability at this football club. If you want stability in this football club, you have to be patient, and you have to give a manager a little bit of time, and that's not 5 months.
But you wouldn't necessarily say that persevering with the wrong manager is the right move either.
No, I wouldn't.
And have you seen anything to suggest in Pochettino's tenure?
Yes.
If you think about the way that maybe Frank Lampard was treated in his latter days, if you think about the way that Graham Potter was treated, I would say that we were a better team under Graham Potter than we are under Mauricio Pochettino.
What I would say, right, is they're completely different situations, really. Apart from obviously all the players we signed in January under Potter, which was out of obviously his control. Potter inherited a largely experienced squad. We got rid of all of those players in the summer, and we needed to do that, and I think the owners deserve credit for getting those players out at that time. But Potter inherited an experienced squad that had been playing together for years. All of them had played together, and obviously all the new players came in January, so that was obviously difficult to deal with. But they've inherited very different squads. You can't compare that. And I think with Poch, you've gone toe-to-toe with the best team in the world. That's no coincidence. Coming from behind 3 times against Manchester City, a team that I think they've beaten us the last 6 in a row before that, and we haven't even got close to them. Even if they've been 1-0s, we haven't got close to them. I watched that game and thought, wow, this is what I'm seeing, and that's what's been the most frustrating is that against Arsenal, and I think that's down to inexperience is why we messed up that 2-goal lead. I paid for Wi-Fi when I was flying for that. I honestly, how sad as well.
Actually cost you.
How sad, yeah.
But for every example that you've got there, for every brilliant performance against Man City, and I agree, I thought that was...
That's not a coincidence, is it, Raw? Like, you're seeing glimpses of a young, inexperienced side go toe-to-toe with a Pep Guardiola side that's been that good for the last however many years.
Yeah. That result, do you know, I actually, that day, made a massive error because I got so carried away with that result. I think I put a video on this channel saying we're back.
We had a right to, though, because not many teams do that to Pep Guardiola.
No, I thought that it was actually, sometimes you get those season-defining performances.
Moments, yeah.
And I thought that everything that happened that day, even the fact that we were so close to losing, and then fought on to get the equaliser so late. Yeah. I thought that reminded me of, like, that's not dissimilar to what a spine of Czech, Terry, Lampard, Drogba would have done.
Yeah.
Like, make sure that you get something out of the game, even when it looks like it's slipping away from you. But for every example like that you can focus on, so you say Man City at home, I say Nottingham Forest at home.
You're going to have a lot more
I go Nottingham Forest at home.
Yeah,
you say Arsenal at home, I'll go Brentford at home.
I'll go Liverpool at home.
I'll go Villa at home.
I'll go Spurs away.
You know what I mean?
You're going to have... Okay,
yeah. I'm going to win this game if you keep going.
I think I've got about one left.
Yeah.
But my point is that this is a young... Our situation isn't even comparable to Arsenal situation before Arteta. Now, I hate doing this. I hate going, oh, well, look at Arsenal, because we're not Arsenal. We've never have been Arsenal, and we don't want to be Arsenal. But if you want a project, or if you want a manager to stay there, look at Jurgen Klopp in his first year at Liverpool. Look at Pep Guardiola in his first year at City. It doesn't happen in 6 months. And that was without 25 million new players and also no experience. Raw, and tell me how many leaders we've got in that squad.
No, that's a problem.
That is a problem.
That's a
but
problem.
That's not. How is that Poch's problem?
No, I do agree. Although Pochettino oversaw about £400 million worth of spend, didn't he?
Huh?
Pochettino oversaw about £400 million worth of spend.
How much of a say? Because I read somewhere that he wants more of a say, so I don't know how much of a say he actually has.
How good is he? Like, realistically, yeah. Did you want him? Was he your selection pre-appointment?
I wanted Tuchel there.
Did you really?
I loved Thomas Tuchel. The options there were Nagelsmann. I wasn't sure about Nagelsmann.
No way. He has a skateboard.
I haven't.
That was. Do you know when I saw that? Do you know when people were talking to me about Nagelsmann? I was like, I don't really know, but let me find out. Geezer drives a skateboard. Rides a skateboard. He's a grown man on a skateboard.
Is it one of those ones that you control?
Honestly, mate, literally
have, like,
on
a
a
vest
skate.
on
You know, like a rucksack on his back and that. Going to be a manager.
I think he's like
Hipster.
a school teacher or something.
Mate, it's. The second that I saw the skateboard, I was just like, this bloke can't be our manager. Like, Tuchel upset me when he wore a cap at Wembley.
Oh, I love Tuchel. No, and nothing that man does can upset
No,
me.
Nagelsmann, I didn't. Nagelsmann, I was with you. Did you? So Tuchel was your dream.
Yeah.
For me, Pochettino was so far down. I did my best as well. To when it first happened.
But is that because if he hadn't have managed Spurs, would you have?
No, it's completely because of the Tottenham thing.
But I don't like just because he's managed Spurs, like.
I'd also say that he's not an elite manager. That would be my other thing.
Yeah,
in terms of what he's won, in terms of people are very favourable about the Tottenham thing.
Managers as well, Raw. You have to think about it.
No, I know, but we employ elite managers over the years.
I mean, yeah, but we've employed some not elite managers.
No, but even if they've done badly, they were still like I don't know. Scolari didn't work. Scolari didn't work, but he'd won the World Cup in Brazil. It kind of made sense at the time. Villas-Boas had had that impressive season. Okay, he was terrible, but he's the track record was still no, he definitely wasn't. No. But the track record was still impressive. Yeah. Whereas with Pochettino, everything that people say is good about him, I would argue wasn't.
No, what he did with Spurs was good.
Well, they didn't win anything.
I know they didn't win anything, but that's more.
They had more points than anyone else over 2 years, didn't they? I would say that's a definition of failing rather than succeeding.
Spurs haven't won anything since him, and they probably didn't win anything before him or one league or whatever it was. So I don't think he was. I think he got them as close as they might ever come to a Champions League.
Yeah.
And what he did with that squad, with no budget and all those young players, I know, like he was brilliant, and that's why I was open to him, because I thought this is a young team, full of young players, and
if he can work his magic on some Chelsea players the way that he did on Dele Alli or whatever.
And I think it's harsh to sit there and say, and I've seen a lot of big accounts say this on X, and I know I shouldn't go by X, but that's usually where I see all my Chelsea opinions, that nothing is improved under Poch, which is rubbish. That is rubbish.
Who would be your example of a player that has improved under him?
And you're probably going to laugh, but since he came in to now, and it's not just because I love him. It's not just because I love him, but I have seen an improvement in Mudryk. I have.
Yeah.
No, I have.
Sometimes.
I actually have.
It's very rare, but sometimes I have nothing to say. Sometimes I'm just like, I don't know what to say now.
Right.
Is Mudryk your go-to here? Because you're really feeding into my argument.
I love Mudryk, right?
Why?
But no, I have seen I've seen an improvement in him, even just from the start of the season to now. When he starts games, though, not when he comes
Mudryk.
No, but he has, right, there was a game, I can't remember what game it was I was watching. I got into an argument with someone on X, which I don't like doing.
Yeah, you're so much better than that.
I know, and I try not to be honest. I don't really involve myself in that. But he was our most dangerous player, and when you've got that raw pace, you're an idiot if you've watched that Liverpool game, first game he ever played, and thought there's not something in there. Yeah. There is something in there, and I really hope Poch is the one to unlock that. But it's almost like he's too quick for his own good, because he'll skip past a few players and then get there, and then not sure what to do with it once he gets there. But I think he'll be really dangerous, and I've seen I don't care what you say, whether you don't agree with me. I've actually seen an improvement in Mudryk since Poch has taken over.
Okay.
But he's not the only one. I meant as a team. Like
you just seen an elevation.
Last season at Cobham, like obviously I was down there a fair bit working. It was just the atmosphere. I cannot even describe.
Could you feel it? Yeah.
You feel it, and like.
Mate, your insight is so. Do you see? This is why you're such an important person to acknowledge, Like, you know, when I'm looking for opinion, because you have access that is just like, it's invaluable, isn't it? You can feel it. You can actually live it.
To at the club that, you know, say how not horrible, but it was just the atmosphere was just.
Well, we're getting beat every week. It's never going to be great.
And like the whole Potter thing just didn't obviously work out, and you know there was all sorts of reports about what had gone on prior to his sacking, but. Now you go down there and Potter's actually instilled such an incredible, even just like a family. Like every time I've been down there like 3 times this season, so not many. Potter's had like family barbecues on where everyone comes down, all of their families, and it's just more of a relaxed but
a happier place.
And this is why I want it to work on the pitch so much, because I know so much work has been put in off the pitch, and I just firmly believe that if you give someone longer than 5 months to implement, and I know obviously you look at like and you think, oh, you know, he's coming straight away. And
they're my 2 examples. Do you know my 2?
They are different.
Eddie Howe. I know it's going a bit wrong now, but Eddie Howe, when he landed, changed the culture of the club almost immediately. Postecoglou, when he landed, literally, they're not the same team.
Is Chelsea one of the most difficult jobs in the Premier League, though?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I actually think an experienced manager coming in now wouldn't be able to fix it straight away, because it doesn't work.
It was
like
lunacy, and like, you know, obviously know how much I love Frank Lampard, but Frank Lampard chose to work for Roman Abramovich as a manager. Like, he was a manager under Roman Abramovich. He was a manager under Farhad Moshiri, and he was a manager under Todd Bowley. Of course, the geezer's like, what chance he got? Like, what chance has he got? But look, overall, then, you believe that Pochettino. What do you think is the minimum expectation? What has to happen this season, even by your fairly generous?
I think European football.
Of any kind. Achieved in any way. So
right
12th in the league, but a League Cup victory, for example, is fine.
We'll get you European football. Where Chelsea, at the time of recording, Chelsea are 3 points off United, and that's just an aim because they're slightly further up. 3 points off United and 6 points off West Ham in 6th. Yeah. That's 2 wins. Yeah. And I know Chelsea have been inconsistent, but so have West Ham, so have Man United, so have Newcastle, so have Brighton, and they are the teams above us. In between us. So it's not as far away as people think, and 2 wins, you know, changes everything.
I think that's a fair metric, because I think I'll swallow that as well. I'm not fond of Pochettino at all, but I think European football, it's such a quantifiable objective. Yeah. So if we say European football of any persuasion, if it happens, then I'll have to kind of slow down. Yeah. But if it doesn't happen, you've got to come to the dark side. No. Olivia, man, thank you so much for coming on to have this chat and like explore exactly what's going on with Pochettino. I think it's really, really interesting, and I do appreciate your time massively. Thank you to everybody for watching, really appreciate it. Make sure that you comment below, let us know exactly what you think about this, and do me a favour, click subscribe if you've enjoyed the video. We'll see you all in a bit. Cheers.